Good evening. It's been a little while since our last one of these. It's honestly been a pretty slow news week before today. So there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, honestly. I was trying to think of a little something I could plug in as like a back half topic, but honestly couldn't think of anything that would really fit the bill until this morning, but then we got a bunch of news today. So news only post today. It's got a lot of information about updates they're doing to the loyalty program and to the way they're handling promos and whatnot. So we've got the Villainous Whale up there. That is one of the provisional promos that they have shown off for Season 3. Seemed appropriate. Not really going to talk about that card, though, in particular. So yeah, Jesco put up a big post this afternoon detailing a bunch of changes they're making to the Redemption Shop and things like that. Related topics, the way the promos are going to roll out, their legality, and so on, because, there's been a lot of frustration with especially mechanically unique promos, and they want to try to address that a little bit better. And at the same time, it's sort of a known goal of theirs. They've talked about this, maybe not in Discords or whatever, but sort of in person if you talk to them at events. They really want to reward playing more than, and they don't want the pack redemption to be sort of the main driver of people's redemption points. They still want it to be relevant, right? It still feels good to be able to hand in wrappers and stuff, but they want people who aren't completely whaling to still feel like they can engage in this loyalty program. So a bunch of changes to that end. First and foremost, this loyalty rework is starting on August 20th. It's basically starting with the start of Season 3. So up until then, if you want to spend your points on promos at the sort of cheaper rates, a little bit cheaper, not a lot cheaper, but they're going to be slightly cheaper until then. They're changing the pricing a little bit to go along with the point increases coming up here. Anyway, starting on August 20th, they're going to change from getting very thin amounts of points for playing in events with a bunch of bonuses for winning and stuff to just, if you play in the event, you get loyalty points, and you get a pretty good chunk of them. So once per week, you can get 10 points for playing in a casual tier event. I assume these are like demo days. I'm not exactly certain personally what the definition of these are, but things like demo days, things like just sort of casual game nights. You can get 10 loyalty points for that once a week. Up to 5 times a week if you play in local game store tier events. These are both physical local weeklies as well as webcam weeklies. You can get 50 loyalty points for that. I see L and I just think license because of the regional license exams. But you can get that up to 5 times a week. So that's a pretty good chunk of points. That's basically enough to get one promo of your choice for each one you enter. It's sort of an extra participation, roughly, give or take. Provisionals are 100 points, regionals are 200, nationals are 300. It sort of as it just scales up as you go to the higher tier events. So essentially you're going to be getting a lot more. So I believe before local game store events were like 5 for entering and 1 for each round you won or something like that, or maybe 2 for each round you won. It really took quite a long time to add up. I remember seeing a comment in one of the small local discords of like, oh, it's fine, I'll just play locals for 72 weeks and then I'll have enough points to get these promos. It's kind of ridiculous. So they've upped that by a lot. You get a lot just for playing in events. They really want people to show up to their weeklies and feel like, not only are they getting whatever participation the store is giving out, but Jesco themselves is giving you some loyalty points to make sure that you're getting a decent amount promo-wise out of playing in these every week. To go along with this, the promo pricing has increased a bit just because they're giving out 10x more points, and this also sort of curbs a little bit the ability of people who are just buying 2 cases of every set to just go get everything and not have to care. So they want those people to play in events too, right? So the pre-release and Plus Ultra promos are going to cost 60 license points. It used to be 30, but they will go down to 45 once they're a little bit old the season after they launch. So a little bit in between. It's a double increase at first. It's going to go down later. If you need to go back and go into the backlog of promos, like if you still need to go back and get concentrates or whatever, that sort of idea, they'll be cheaper. Or concentrates are provisional promos, but actual Plus Ultras, maybe, for instance. And to go along with that, they're putting a firm timing on the legality of these promos now. The pre-release and Plus Ultra promos will be legal 2 weeks after they launch. Not quite like the day after or the week after. 2 weeks is it's basically enough time to put in a loyalty order and usually get it in the mail, so long as they continue to stay on top of their mailings. So if you really need something for an event, you can just redeem for that one card and then try to get the others through playing in locals or building up points over time or what have you. The provisional promos are a little more spicy here. So they've said a lot that this could or probably is only for the Season 3 provisional promos. This is speculating, but they might be planning to sort of change the flow of provisionals or how they work or something starting in Season 4 or starting next year or something. But for Season 3 ones, at least, they're going to cost 80 license points with going down to 50 later on. This is sort of the same deal. It's basically double now, but it'll be cheaper later. Note that it doesn't go down to 50 until after Season 4. So we're going to have Season 3 is going to end. The last Season 3 event they announced is late October, I believe. So Season 4 sounds like it's probably just going to be the Nationals and the Invitational. So I'm guessing there won't even be any provisionals in Season 4, or regionals for that matter. So it's a little funky, because it's probably not going to be tied to a set release, basically, the way things are looking. So unless they just don't call that a season at all, right? Unless it's just like a mid-tier season. Anyway, so there's a little bit of wording play. You can read through the post yourself. That'll be linked in the description. But the Season 3 provisional promos will go down after Season 4, and the reason it's after Season 4 is because they're not going to be legal until the start of Season 4. So I guess it will remain to be seen whether they're going to call the Nationals Invitational thing a season, or if that's going to be a full long period where the provisionals still aren't legal. That's something I did not think to ask until it just came to mind as I'm recording this. But anyway, grand scheme of things, we will not have a stadium situation where people who went to Origins got to have a leg up on the rest of the format for the next big events, and so on, where these provisional promos are legal as soon as they're available, but they're really hard to get and really rare, and there's all these cool attacks in these Season 3 promos. That's not going to happen. You're going to spend Season 3 sort of collecting these promos at your provisionals, and you won't be able to play them in any serious events. Your locals are free to allow them if they want. Jasco's not going to go bang their doors down if they let people play with their provisional promos or whatever, but they're not going to be legal in significant events until the start of Season 4. So you have a bunch of time to collect them, and if push comes to shove, you can always get the non-foils for loyalty points. You have tons of time to go and do that, depending on which ones you pull or trade for or whatever, which ones you want to play. So it should be much, much more comfortable. The downside, I guess, like technically getting these provisional promos at these events won't be as huge of a hype deal, right? It won't be as high of a demand. You know, maybe some of the webcam provisional participation will go down a little bit, but at the end of the day, these are still going to be pretty pricey in the loyalty shop and, you know, relatively tough to get, all things considered. So people are still going to want them, I think. We'll see how it shakes out. So yeah, that is the big loyalty promo shake-up. Broadly positive reception. There's a couple people who have some sticker shock at the prices going up. Certainly if you're the sort of person that wanted to just always get all the loyalty points you need from buying cases and don't want to have to deal with weeklies, don't want to have to deal with webcam weeklies, or, you know, if you're overseas perhaps and you don't have as much access to those, you know, in that case the price increases are a bit troubling, but, you know, I'm sure they're going to work on the webcam weekly time. They alluded a little bit today to trying to find ways to have webcam weeklies in more EU-friendly time zones, for instance. And even just other times of day. So some people work night shift, right? So hopefully that situation will improve. But for the time being, the prices are going up. If you want to get enough loyalty points to be doing these redemptions, show up to your local weeklies. If you can't do that, try to make some webcam weeklies. If you're doing local weeklies, make sure your store's using the app so that you get rewarded these points. Yeah, it should be pretty good. That was most of the news. We have a few other little things that came up in the 4 or 5 days prior to today. First of all, on Thursday, there's going to be a special webcam weekly in which you have to play a chaos deck. This is apparently something that was voted on by winners of the previous webcam weeklies or something. That should be cool. That should be fun. I don't think I'm personally going to be able to make it because I'm going to be hopping on Sam Tate's show, or at least that's the plan. So that's a little unfortunate because I obviously have a Chaos deck, that Mina one that I would really like to play. But that should be fun. Check that out. If you can't normally make the Wednesday weeklies, you might be able to make this Thursday one, so keep an eye out on that. I'll link to that in the description. The August 13th, 14th webcam provisional signups are live now. I'll put that link in the description. That is the weekend after Gen Con. That's the last Season 2 provisionals, kind of your last chance to get foil stadiums and things like that. And lastly, a little bit of hinting, direct talking in the Discord. It sounds like... I don't remember if someone official from Jasco said this, but from sort of the grapevine, it sounds like they're going to be using a lot of the phone app art, and this is something they talked about a long time ago. They got the rights to use some of the art from this My Hero Academia phone game, and it sounds like Set 3 is where a lot of that's going to get used, and a lot of that is going to be more full art friendly. So people from Jasco are saying that the Set 3 extra rares are going to be quite a bit better than Set 2, which certainly got bashed a little bit for having a lot of screenshot art, which led to a lot of not really feasible full arts for the extra rares. So you got a lot of extra rares that didn't have any less frame, didn't have any less anything, just had like the little dot pattern. So people are kind of disappointed with the Set 2 extra rares. It sounds like Set 3 should be much improved. So yeah, just those 3 little bits before today. We got, you know, all this new promo news to sink into today, and yeah, they continue to say that previews for Set 3 are going to begin soon, TM. Who knows at this point? I've given up trying to guess. They will start when they start. But yeah, between now and then, you know, I'm going to put out a call. You know, put in the comments if there's any like little topics you think I can do in like a 5-minute span that would be fun to touch on. Go ahead and post in the comments. I'm running a little bit long because my music actually ran out. That's when I'm supposed to stop, but I am closing up now, so we'll end it here. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any cool ideas. Yeah, I'll see you next time.